Sorry. I'm very tall. I feel very tall right now.
All right, we're going to go ahead and continue with our media availabilities today at Kansas Speedway. We've now been joined by Carson Hocevar, driver of the number 77 Spire Motorsports Chevrolet. If you have a question for Carson, if you could raise your hand, we'll work on getting a mic to you, and we'll start in the front.
Brad Williams, SpeedwayDigest.com. So I heard you mention a couple weeks ago that you prefer the old school way of learning versus like using the SMT data points and other things. I was just wondering from your standpoint, how does being in the broadcast booth for some races help with that and help you learn, and how much does it help you on Sundays?
I mean, I don't think it hurts because I'm watching the race, right? It's you're seeing in-car footage, you're seeing a bunch of footage, right? You're seeing the camera angles, and you just get a lot of. You get to be in the booth and look out and watch TV, right? So normally when I watch races, I'm in the grandstands and I don't get to see all the really close things and everything. So I don't know if it 100% helps, but it doesn't hurt of being here at the track and watching it in person, but also seeing the TV and getting both. Yeah, I don't think it definitely hurts.
We'll come up front to Bob and then Zach.
Bob Parker's Fox Sports. Just curious if you had a conversation with Priest at all over the last week, and if so, how'd it go?
Yeah, we did. I thought it was very productive. I thought he heard my point of view and I heard his, right, and I think we have a really good understanding to go forward. I just kind of explained my positioning of it was. I just passed the 17, and I really didn't expect the 60 to be a factor in the equation. And, I started unwinding the wheel to get out of the 34's wake and try to be on offense, and found myself on defense in the wake and crossing and tied, and now he's on my door, and just shocked me. So, I just explained that of I wasn't trying to put him in a bad spot and be aggressive. I tried to unwind the wheel and track out to the wall, and I didn't expect a car to be there. So that's on me for not predicting it, not expecting it, expectations being different, and the grip level being a different thing. So I think he was very understanding of it. Obviously, we both wrecked, and it wasn't good for either of us, and we're both around the same point situation. And he's having a good year. I feel like we're faster than expected. I think we just both have the understanding that we don't want to ruin the momentum each other have moving forward.
We will come up to Zach.
Zach Sturdiolo, NASCAR.com. Carson, pole last week at Texas. Michael had the pole at Vegas as well. Spire speed on the intermediate tracks has been strong to start the season. Do you expect that to continue this weekend at Kansas, and how do you guys capitalize on that, if so, with results?
Yeah, I do. Or at least I hope we do, right? I think our cars are fast, and I think our car, or my car specifically, has been really fast in the race too. Last year it was, if we qualified good, we're for some reason not very good in the race, and if we didn't qualify good, for some reason we're good in the race. And being able to translate that, I think, is really important. It's just obviously helps with our friends over at Hendrick Motorsports, on the injured side and everything. It is help bleeding into it. It's not a secret of that. But our cars are getting better, and our people are getting better. We're getting smarter at being able to translate that now, and starting up front's a lot better. Being pit selection and so many different things, obviously, besides clean air, but just pit selection and momentum and feeling good about the day, and you could just ride that wave. And even if you're kind of off a little bit, you can kind of maintain and play defense a little bit and still be ahead. And so ultimately, I think that was super important for us this year, is qualify better and getting stage points. And I think we have 50 stage points, and that's really saving our year so far, honestly.
We'll go to the back and then come up to Jeff, please.
To More Motorsports Today. Just want to follow up on the previous question first. Obviously, you guys have had that speed, but from the organizational standpoint, does it get a little bit frustrating not getting the consistent results, knowing that you guys have been there every week? And what do you also feel maybe you guys are missing to get that consistent result?
Yeah, I mean, it's not good. I mean, if you were to pick your poison, I'd much rather be fast and have bad luck or misfortune or something happen than be slow and have to bank on other people's misfortune, right? It's more sustainable to be fast and have that happen. And because it normally fixes a lot of problems, and right now it is fixing a lot of our problems, and we're 17th in points, and I think my average finish is like 29th at this rate. So, yeah, I mean, just multitude of different things have happened. We've had fuel pumps and motors and pit issues and everything, and I think that's more just we're doing different parts than we've not used to using. So there's some gremlins we were finding out at the start of the year, right? Last year we had the same parts all year and it went fine. This year it's like, oh, this burns this up, or this does this, or this does that. And yeah, you can't get through a whole race. You unfortunately learn that by trial by fire. So yeah, I mean, ultimately it's just we need to do everything in our power not to take ourselves out or put ourselves in a bad spot, because the universe right now is already doing that for us. So we just gotta not compound those or get too aggressive and make a mistake when we get put back there or something happens. And yeah, I think we're all fighting through that and being able to handle that adversity even better.
And how fun has it been for you having the opportunity to get back in the Truck Series, knowing that you didn't get to do any racing down last year in your rookie campaign?
Yeah, it's definitely fun, and it was good for me. I thought I tricked the universe into getting the bad luck out on Friday and not on a Sunday. But yeah, it was fun to go run up front and go have fun, and doing it with no practice or qualifying was kind of fun. Of starting 19th and driving through the field, and yeah, it's just fun to go back there and do it with Tyler Green, obviously, and do it with Patty, and it's rewarding for me to run good too. Because Jeff Dickerson and Spire have expressed how they felt like they should have put me in some truck races last year, but rookie year they wanted me full focus on that. So it's rewarding for me to them start to let me do some more, because it feels to me like I'm doing everything right, knowing the goal is Sunday, and when things are going good, they'll pull back the reins a little bit and let me go have fun.
We'll come up front to Jeff, then go to Lee, Caleb, and Daniel.
I don't want to put words in your mouth, but it feels like you have pretty thick skin, or you take criticism with a grain of salt a lot of times. But then, when incidents happen like Priest, he's like, he's going to have his day. He doesn't respect his equipment. You lump it into these other veteran guys, whether Blaney or Kyle Busch. Like, how do you process all this coming in your way? Do you think, okay, well, I'm fast, I have speed, I'm young, so this is the nature of it? Or do you think, oh, they have a point? Is it a mix of both? How do you absorb all that?
Yeah, I mean, there's multitude of things, right? I mean, there's certain things that are said in the heat of the moment, and then when you go talk to them, it's a different conversation, right? And I think that's a lot of times what happens is you get the radio transmission, or you see the talks after the race or interviews and everything, and then when I have that conversation, it's just different. It's heat of the moment. I mean, there's so many times where I feel like drivers will say something on the radio and they don't even remember they said it, right? So, I mean, you saw it with teammates before, right? So there's so many different things, and it's just balancing that and knowing, for me, the intent of it, right, is I was full on offense, and I didn't know I had to be on defense, and I was. If I wasn't looking in my mirror when I felt like I should have been, and, knowing, if you were to rewind the clock, if I knew the result, I would do something different. But at the time, I felt like I knew the situation, and I would have probably do the same thing again. But knowing the result, I get in that spot again, you're going to be more cognizant and aware of that. And I feel like I drive a lot off instinct. And so if I'm not focused on something, you can just be tunnel vision and miss it. And I think for me, it's just being able to balance that, and then also to explain that and make sure they know there was an intent of the move, and the intent wasn't to put them in a bad spot, put me in a bad spot, or jump that line where it's dirty or aggressive or over aggressive.
We'll come to Lee.
Lisa Spencer, SiriusXM NASCAR Radio and CatchFence.com. What kind of influence has Luke Lambert had on you? Because he feels like you're right on the verge of just being a weekly contender, and I wonder if, how has he kind of helped mold you to get there? Because obviously the raw talent's there. It's just a matter of putting all the pieces together.
Yeah, I think Luke's is super, super good. And, I was the one that the second, we were racing with Legacy, we almost wish we could keep going, just a working relationship, right? And maybe not in that building, but just keep going, or just that I was like, man, I wish the year wasn't over. And for me, that was really special for me because I knew these guys just, spent 36 weeks away from their families, and normally everybody's just happy to be done for the year they had. And for them, it felt like they were just getting going, and now we're going to break up, right? And now we're going to go away. So the second I knew he was available, I was really hoping we could get him, and obviously that worked out really well. And he's just a really, really good team leader, not even just me, but just really good at, being a team leader for the guys, the crew guys, people in the shop, and running the direction of our car and helping the direction of our company, basically. And there's not a crew chief that can come in anymore and you're hiring him for the 4 shocks he's got in his briefcase no more. You're hiring him for the processes and the people skills and everything. And I think for him, that's why there wasn't a change. Like in my entire tenure at Spire on the 77 car, we haven't let anybody go or brought anybody in. Like, it stayed the same on the pit crew side that's employed by HMS. They were fought to, continue to be on our car, for Luke's leadership and how he treats his people. And the same can go for, obviously spotters, really good, but everybody that works on the car, the hauler drivers, everybody, he just does a super good job of that. And then, to me, just helps me and him keep each other, kind of level-headed of, this is a journey. We're not walking into a Hendrick Motorsports where they've won championships and have all these trophies on the wall. We're trying to get there and build that, and we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. So I keep him on the straight and narrow, and he does me probably a little bit more, for sure. But I think we have a really, really good balance of that.
We'll come up to Caleb.
Caleb Vessel, SpeedwayDigest.com. Carson, if you exclude Texas, we're coming off a stretch of 4 bad races at Martinsville, Darlington, Bristol, and Talladega. Just how much do drivers pay attention to criticism about this car and the type of racing it produces?
I mean, if you're Kyle Larson and you led 493, you don't care, you like it, right? I don't know. I mean, for drivers, it's obviously going to be frustrating if you're faster and you can't pass and everything. But none of us, I feel like it's irrelevant for us. Like, if we're going to complain and don't have true solutions that are proven, right? And I think that's where a lot of us are. We complain, but we only complain to a certain extent because we don't have a solution. So if you're really complaining, then if you don't have a solution, what do you expect to change if you don't have the solution? So I think all of us are hoping the higher ups and smarter ones can continue to develop the product, because ultimately, like, we want to have fun racing and racing each other and not roll around and be difficult to pass and everything. But at the same time too, I mean, we all, they don't make any mistakes. The Xfinity field races are obviously super good. But I don't know if you'd 100% see how good the racing is if you put all the Cup guys in there. There's a lot of times that mistakes, create really good racing. And I think that's why you see, Cup guys, especially Kyle lately, go into the Xfinity series and just dominate or run really, really good. Just he doesn't make mistakes, or he makes a lot less compared to the guys around him.
With that said, is it coming to Kansas a little bit of like a breath of fresh air, considering the racing we have seen here the past 3 years with this car?
I mean, maybe. Yeah, I mean, I think it's just more fun as a driver in the sense of you could move around and do different things and run the top, and like that's just fun in general. But yeah, I mean, I don't think any of us are 100% walking in and our fun levels peaked or not, whether it's going to be a good race or not. It's more if it's just going to be fun to drive, which, I mean, is kind of the same. But, yeah, I mean, but this one could be a snoozer too, right? So you just never know when a really good race is going to happen or not. But definitely the trend of Kansas has been pretty good lately.
We're going to go to Daniel, and then we're going to end with Steven.
Daniel McFadden, frontstretch.com. I had planned to ask you how close you felt that you would be to breaking through and getting your first Cup win. But, you know, through these questions, you've mentioned the universe multiple times as if it's working against you in some form. So I'm curious, does it currently feel like you're maybe like pushing a boulder up a mountain right now?
I mean, I feel like we're getting it out of the way, right, of all, either misfortune or like, you can't predict, when someone's going to spin the second you come off pit road, right, on a green flag cycle. So there's that. But also, too, there's plenty of things that are self-inflicted when, they drop the jack or, the motor breaks because of a part failure, the fuel pump breaks because of part failure. Ultimately, you just got to get those out of the way. So you just have your processes in place. You eliminate potential issues and everything. Yeah, I mean, do I think we're getting closer? Yes. Do I think there's a race in this? Like, can I be confident in saying there's going to be a race where we're the dominant car, that we're going to be up front? Probably not yet. I don't think we're there. I think it'll be a shock if we do dominate a race. So far, I think we still need to continue to get better and build a notebook. But as you saw with Michael up front, there at the end, you don't have to be anywhere near the fastest car, and you almost get it handed to you or given an opportunity to go steal one or take one. And I probably think that's probably where we'll be. But we're getting faster and we're running the top 5 more often. That it's more likely to kind of land in your lap there, as long as you're there and continue. But I think we're still a little bit far away from just flat out dominating races.
Go ahead, Steven.
Steven, frontstretch.com. Carson, Corey was in here earlier and talking about how the trucks and the Cup cars felt so much more similar than the Xfinity cars. Is that your experience too? Like your brief Xfinity starts, did they feel way different than what you're currently driving now?
Yeah, for sure. They're the power to downforce ratio, the on throttle time, kind of what you do is, yeah, really similar or way similar than the Xfinity car. Obviously, I felt really comfortable the first time I got in a Cup car, and the first time I got an Xfinity car, it took me kind of all race to get really used to it. So yeah, I mean, it's just so different. But I kind of always thought of the truck. You have this really big right rear quarter panel. If in the Cup car, you just take that quarter panel, you put it underneath. That's basically the diffuser. So that's kind of how I pictured it and thought about driving it and how it would feel and how you have to, you go from loading up the right rear to loading up just the rear in general with the diffuser. And that kind of philosophy, kind of somewhat worked when I first got in it.
And trucks going straight from trucks to Cup wasn't common, but you've done it. Zane's done it. If all the cars stay the same in all 3 series, do you feel that the truck series is going to become that developmental series up to Cup?
No. I mean, no. I don't think that's going to be like the move. I just think it's so, like, Xfinity's so expensive and it's so tough that, I'm sure there's kids right now in Xfinity that if they had a spot, the team paying for them or sponsoring them or working, just much rather have them in the Cup car because it's not too much different cost, and you might as well just have them throw to the wolves and just learn a year in a Cup car. So, no, I think it's more likely to happen, but I still think it is going to be rare that you jump from truck to Cup without any Xfinity or anything. That it just all depends on how the level of team faith in you and everything. But I think it's definitely it's just not going to be as cell shocking when it happens. I think it's still possible, but I think you have to, go dominate trucks or be really, really good, or do a lot of things behind the scenes that they see value, whether it's sim driving a cup car or you get a cup opportunity like I did, where I got to drive a cup car one time, and it was like, okay, well, you can drive a cup car. We'll just throw you in there and let you learn for a year and see how long it takes you to figure it out. So, I just think it just opens up a lot more avenues where you can go truck to cup and now Xfinity to cup.
All right, Carson. Well, thanks for joining us, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you.